Hello everyone, DarkChiron here, back again with Silent Hill 3. Last time we got through the subway system, we got through the sewers, and we've made it back out. Oh, and through the construction buildings too, of course. How could I forget those? And after all that journeying and struggling, we finally made it back to Heather's apartment building. Now this video is going to be not incredibly long, and also it's going to consist mainly of cutscenes. There's lots of story dump going to be happening here in a second, so let's start out with a little bit of just a little quirky thing that you can do here. Heather will note that the mailboxes here are empty. They don't even have letters from dead wives in them. Not that Heather even has a dead wife, of course. That would be silly. So, that's a nice little reference to Silent Hill 2, of course. It happens if you have a Silent Hill 2 save, or if you're playing on New Game Plus. So, without further ado, there's nothing else really of note in this building. The only thing there is to do really is to go into Heather's house. So let's go.
Oh. Dad, I'm home. Listen, something really crazy's going on. I think we should... Dad? Dad? No! 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 Did you do this?
You're late.
But why? Why?
Revenge for 17 years ago, for one thing. If not for him, our dream would have come true. And then he took you away from us.
I'll get you for this!
There is another reason. To fill your heart with hatred. It must be this way. One day you'll understand why.
No, I'll never understand!
You must try to remember me, and your true self as well. You will birth a god, and build an eternal paradise. He's the one who killed your father. I merely gave the order. So, what will you do? I'll be waiting where all begins. In the town of Silent Hill.
Well, now, that's a lot of stuff to talk about. And we have to fight the missionary. That's what this monster is called. There's lots of theories about what the hell this thing is. And I'll get to those in one of the future videos. However, apparently Claudia beat Heather here fairly easily. I assume she didn't have to go through the sewer and everything to get here. But she got here before us, had Heather's father killed. For revenge, apparently. But revenge for what? I don't know. She talked about birthing of a god and whatnot. And this boss is annoying as hell. He runs around a lot. Tries to attack you. He sits there and rides on the ground for a while, and you can walk up and kick him if you want. I would not advise it because he does this really wide arcing swing when you go up and kick him, and it almost always hits you. I've never been able to avoid it if he throws it out. So just let him sit on the ground until he's done squirming. Oh my God! Stop! What are you doing? You look like a goofball. I might as well show it off. It's not going to kill me to show you. Now let's try to run away. Oh, I beat him. Huh. I tried that multiple times on my first run, and I could not get away from him before he hit me. Anyway, as long as you avoid his see, like that. As long as you avoid his attacks and don't shoot him from in front. If you try to shoot him from in front, he blocks your shot. So don't do that. You have to kind of circle strafe him and get away from him and shoot him in the back. And it doesn't take that many shots to kill him, actually. It's just a matter of knowing that that's what you need to do to fight him, and that you can't stay in front of him. And he should be dead. Yep, he's dead.
I don't know what to say.
Then don't say anything. I'm fine, so just get out of here and leave me alone already!
Calm down.
Calm down? How am I supposed to do that? My father is dead! He's murdered! Get out! This is all your fault! If it weren't for you,
I'm sorry.
then go!
If it'll make you feel better, I will. Is he okay like this?
What else can I do? There's no one here to give him a decent burial. I'm sorry, Dad.
What do you do now?
I'm going to Silent Hill.
What's in Silent Hill?
I don't know.
Do you think it's safe?
Of course it isn't. I don't know what kind of hell is waiting for me there, but I've got no other choice. I don't care about God or paradise. If that's what she believes, then fine. But she won't get away with what she did. When I find her, I'll kill her myself.
Revenge doesn't solve anything.
Maybe not, but that's what I'm going to do.
How are you gonna get there?
None of your business.
I'll give you a ride.
I don't need your help.
Yeah, but it's too far to walk. Besides, I'm partly responsible for this. I'll bring the car around back. come by and we finish saying goodbye.
You know, you might die too.
That's fine. Nobody's gonna cry over my grave.
Yep, so apparently Douglas is a lonely person, and Heather has decided that her goal is to go back to Silent Hill, because as Claudia said, that is where all the things started. Heather is gaining back some of her memories. Yep, and we can investigate most of the things in the apartment. None of them are particularly important, outside of Harry's body, of course. Yeah, so apparently the whole creating hatred in your heart scenario for Claudia is working right now. Heather's only thoughts are to find her and kill her. And since we're kind of in a crazy situation, a crazy world, Heather's not even going to call the cops or let anyone know that something bad happened at her house. She's just going to leave her father's dead body here in the apartment, apparently. Yes, Heather, the monster's dead. And that's part of the discussion that people have regarding the missionary. Was he a monster? No time to think of that. We had to go meet Douglas. But first, we have a little bit of one of the stages of grieving. Yes. Where Heather partially blames her dad for dying, even though I'm fairly certain he didn't want to. She still blames him. But thankfully, he did leave us a stun gun to help protect ourselves. And we have this movie poster here. I don't think that's a real movie. Maybe it is, and I just don't know. Anyway, as it says, morning always comes. It's corny, but it's true. But if your eyes are closed, it always feels like night. Yeah, apparently that's the catchphrase of the hero of the movie. Okay. And of course, with Heather being kind of down and depressed, that line of meant to be uplifting is not particularly effective for her. And of course, we have no rest for the wicked. There is no rest. And we even comment on the dolls. I'm not quite sure why. There might be some relevance to the two, but I'm not sure. In any case, that's all there really is to do here. And apparently the phones don't work here. So I guess they cut the phone lines when they came and killed Harry. In any case, let's get on outside and meet Douglas.
I just met some guy named Vincent.
Vincent?
He's a friend of yours, right?
I'm not sure.
He said when we get to Silent Hill to look for a guy named Leonard. And he gave me this map. What do you want to do?
We can't trust him, but we've got no other choice.
Here, take this too.
What's this?
Your father was holding it. started raining. Are you sleeping?
I'm awake.
You cold? What's the deal with Silent Hill anyway? It used to be a nice, quiet little town. But now,
You've been there?
once, on a missing persons case. Never did find him. But I'll tell you, that's one screwed up town. My line of work, you hear a lot of nasty rumors.
I was born and raised there.
Sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
No offense taken.
Anyway, I thought you grew up in Portland. What's wrong? Feeling sick?
My head's pounding like the worst hangover ever.
Maybe your car's sick.
No. I'm just trying to remember. My childhood. Something terrible happened in Silent Hill 17 years ago. A woman named Dahlia. She tried to summon the ancient god of the town. She offered up her very own daughter.
That's crazy.
Maybe so, but it worked. The girl gave birth to a god. You see, that girl had special powers.
Powers?
Her classmates called her a witch. She could make things happen with her mind. She could kill people just by wishing for it. But in the end, that god was killed by a single person. My father, Harry Mason. I guess it wasn't much of a god if it could be killed by a human being. But I think Claudia's trying to do the same thing again. And I've been chosen as the sacrifice.
You've got some kind of power in you too?
After the god was killed, the girl reappeared. She was holding a baby in her arms. Before she died, she gave the baby to my father. He loved me just like I was his very own daughter. Even though he didn't know who or what I was. It was so sudden. I never had a chance to tell you how happy you made me.
I'm gonna head for that Leonard guy's house. you check out the hospital. You got the map, right?
Yeah,
You gonna be okay alone?
I'm not a child, you know. Are you sure it's not you who's afraid to be alone?
You're right. I am afraid. I'm 50-something years old. I ain't never seen nothing like this. Still feel like I'm dreaming.
More like a nightmare, I'd say.
Yeah. I want to wake up and have a smoke already. Meet me back here when you're finished looking around the hospital. Okay?
Roger.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but Heather's talking to Douglas and kind of having a conversation with him. She's kind of cracking jokes, trying to kind of keep like a little, sarcastic smile on her face about things and everything like that. But as soon as he leaves, like, she immediately goes back to just feeling like trash again, which is understandable. It's been only a few hours, I'm sure, since her father died, so it's a little bit of a small amount of time to get over things. And as they said, we are now in Silent Hill. Some of this stuff should look incredibly familiar to people with knowledge of Silent Hill 2. This is the same area. We have the Heaven's Knight, the Texon Gas, the Bolorama, everything. It's all there. Thankfully, we don't have to go through the Blue Creek apartments, at least. Anyway, the song that was playing during that cutscene when they're in the car is one of my favorite songs from all the Silent Hills, even if the person singing it turned out to be a horrible, horrible human being, which was brought to light when the HD collection came out. But that's okay. The song's still pretty good. Also, to get back into this game, we have Harry's Notebook. And she says, as always, this should be novelized. That's because, as it turned out, Harry wrote detective stories. He was apparently a published author. Go figure. And I will read this in full. I hope this will never come to any use. Maybe it's better if you never know. More than anything else, I fear the possibility of your going away far from me. But sometimes we have to tell the truth, and that's why I'm writing this before I'm lost in death and oblivion. What happened back then? That has something to do with who you are. It all started 24 years ago. Coming back from vacation, my wife and I found a baby on the side of the highway. Since we were childless, we thanked God for letting us meet this child, this girl. We took her home. 3 years later, my wife died, and another 4 years later, 17 years ago, I came to Silent Hill. I heard the girl's pleas and took her with me, not knowing why she wanted us to go there. And it was there that the girl went away, not that she actually went anywhere, nor did she die. Returned to her original self. That's what Dahlia Gillespie said. Original self. That was the young woman burned by her mother as a sacrifice to a god, Alessa Gillespie. Half her soul escaped in those flames and went on to live in a baby, in that girl of mine, of ours. 7 years passed before that half a girl returned to Silent Hill and made Alessa whole again. Newly strengthened, she vowed to kill God. God, a fetus nestled in the sacrificial girl's womb, was summoned with the usual rites. This was Alessa's wish, no matter what the outcome, even if her own existence were at stake. But that wish was not granted. My interruption meant she prayed instead for the girl's return. I alone couldn't bring her back. Dahlia did it. I only helped at the birthing ceremony to bring God out of Alessa. The newly born God wailed once and was dead, all from that girl's and probably Alessa's conscious resistance. That's not the end. After God had vanished in a glow of light, Alessa reappeared and gave me a baby. She looked a lot like that girl so long ago. Then Alessa was gone, dead. There was nothing I could have done to help. I simply clutched the baby to my chest and ran off. The whole thing felt like a dream, but I had proof that it wasn't the girl... Oh, that it wasn't. The girl was nowhere to be found, and in my arms, the baby. Now 17 years have passed. It feels like only yesterday, and again it feels like a million years ago. I confess I had reservations at first about raising that baby. Could I love her? Her existence was thoroughly unexplainable. I thought she could be that young woman who snatched away my beloved daughter. That led to sadness, anger. There were times when I put my hands around that tiny little throat. Several times I even considered abandoning her. That's what a terrible person I am. But I decided to raise her after all. I just couldn't seem to let her go. When you looked at me, you laughed, so... Even now I can't forget about that girl. But I love you. I have no doubts about that, and that's all I ask you to believe. To my precious daughter, Harry Mason. The way he made it sound in the beginning, he wrote that as he was dying, but I'm not so certain about that. That would have to mean that like Alessa and the missionary let him write that as he died, but maybe I'm just interpreting it incorrectly. In any case, what Heather said in the car ride over here, and what Harry says in the notebook there, those are kind of brief and glossed over plot summaries of Silent Hill 1. So this game is a direct sequel to that game. And as far as I know, I haven't played all of the Silent Hill games. As far as I know, Silent Hill 1 and 3 are the only two that actually are part of a single continuing story with the same characters. All the rest of them, of course, take place in the same universe, but they're all about different people and different experiences. Okay, so, in any case, that will end this particular video. As I said, it was going to be mostly cutscenes. The next video coming out is going to be one of the supplemental videos. It's going to be a more in-depth look at Silent Hill 1 and going over the plot of that game to kind of give some context and to further explain what's going on in this game. But first, before we leave, find out somebody has drawn the save symbol here in the hotel, waiting for us, I suppose. Somebody knew we were going to check into this room, perhaps? I don't know. In any case, I thank you all for joining me. Hope you will join me next time, because that video is going to take quite a bit more work than these two. I'm going to have to do all kinds of stuff for it. Thankfully, I found somebody who was kind enough to give me footage for the game, and I will thank them in that video. Anyway, enough of your time has been wasted here, people. I thank you for watching and continuing to watch, and I will see you next time.